Hello, students. This is Wamala and Maureen coming at you with Academic Achievement Series. Instead of hosting a whole session, I thought it might be a better use of your time just to get a quick video on multiple choice questions as you prepare for your law school exams and later, of course, for the bar exam. Now, many students at this time of year get really stressed. Law school exams are coming. You still have time. There is plenty of law you can learn in a day, but it's good and prudent to take a bit of a pause to think about how you might approach different types of law school exams. Now, as we know, there are two main types of law school exams. One addresses hypothetical fact patterns that are written as essays, usually a narrative response and using IRAC analysis. But there's another smaller subset of exam questions that you may have that will come in the form of multiple choice questions. Now, I'd also like to note that this is just a subset of law school exam preparation. We will be having or have had multiple workshops on exams. One, we have a professor talk about what they look for in grading exams. Another one, a general overview of exam preparation. But today we're just focusing on the discrete area of multiple choice question and answers. So there are three parts of multiple choice question. One is the root, the second is the stem, and the third is the answer set. So the root is the hypothetical facts that are being asked of you. And when analyzing a fact pattern, stick to what's written on the page. Do not think of extraneous things that aren't there. It is very easy to get caught in a trap of assuming facts that aren't present in the question that you use to inform your thinking and answering it. Don't fall into that trap. The facts are the facts that are identified in the root. Now, the stem part of the question asks the question that is to be answered. Pay close attention to the call of the question. If it asks you from the perspective of the respondent or the petitioner, from the defense or the strategy, you will know by reading the stem. And of course, the answer set are the choices of answers that are given. One answer is going to be the most correct answer. There are other answers that are either going to be wrong or they're going to be incomplete. Your job is, of course, to find the closest answer that is close to the correct one. Now, approaching your exam, like anything, we want to look at the root of the question. Read the entire fact pattern slowly, carefully, because if you're rushing, and I know that time is of essence, but if you're racing, you will miss the essential component. So read the root carefully, because multiple choice questions are a test of close and careful reading, as well as having a thorough knowledge of what the law and the rules are. So you should approach the fact pattern in multiple choice questions the same way that you approach them for issue spotter exams. You're going to spot the issue, identify the relevant rule, look at the facts where you apply, and then reach a conclusion. Do not add to the fact pattern. Do not assume facts. Do not ignore facts. The root question contains all the facts in the universe to answer that question. Now, after you assess the root of the question, you will then read all the answer choices, and select the best one. First thing to do, of course, get rid of incorrect answers. Just wipe them out. They're wrong because they don't resolve the issue. They resolve a different issue. They apply the wrong reasoning. They mischaracterize the facts or the law. Just get rid of them. Do not complete an answer choice in your head or assume something that's not written on the page. The answer has to be correct for every aspect of the question. Watch for incomplete definitions or arguments. An option might sound correct and it might be kind of correct, but it's still incorrect answer because it's incomplete in some way that is telling to the examiner. And then the correct answer might appear in plain English rather than legal terms. That's fine. It's just because an answer is in a Latin phrase or confusing legal terminology, it's not necessarily the correct answer. Don't be thrown by what type of English you find. It might just be in plain English, and that might be the right choice. Like all exams, when time is ready, time is ready. You should mark your exams, and we'll talk about this in the exam preparation workshop. But exams are about time management. Figure out how much time you have for each question and stick to it. Once you've hit your time limit, you must go on. After making your best guess, move on both literally and mentally because you still have to focus on the following question. Don't get hung up on any one question. Also, look at the point allocation for the entirety of the exam. I once had a student come into my office after the exam crying. The student had spent almost the entire time on the exam in the multiple choice section. The problem was that of the 4-hour exam, the multiple choice section was only worth 30% of her exam, and she spent nearly 80% of her time on something only worth 30%. That student had a very difficult time in the final analysis because there just wasn't sufficient writing on the remaining parts to get her a passing grade. Now, that said, you should answer every question, even if you're not sure. You will not be graded for wrong answers, but they can't give you points for leaving something blank. So even if you're not sure, mark the question and then return to it if you have time. If you have to guess, obviously eliminate the answers that you know are wrong. And if you don't know which of the two is correct, generally it's better to pick a more precise answer over a more general answer. Always avoid answers with absolutes. Never, always, must, cannot. It's interesting. I told you to always do this. I guess there is a possibility that something with an always or an absolute is the correct answer, but you should be very skeptical of answer choices that have absolutes. So take all the time you have. If you have 4 hours for the exam, it's your exam. Take the time. Go back to the answers that you've marked. Think them through. If you still have more time, go through every question, check your work. This is worth it. You will be tired. You will want to stop, but don't stop until you are absolutely sure that you gave your best effort on this exam and used the time that you have. Now, what if you're terrible at multiple choice questions? Okay, fine. First, change the narrative. Adopt a growth mindset. I had trouble with multiple choice questions, but with practice, I got better skills to succeed. You will. Now, remind yourself also that most law school multiple choice questions are simply short issue spotters. Same skills are going to apply. And in this case, they save you the burden of writing a whole essay. This also gives you practice for the bar exam, which has multiple choice questions. So embrace multiple choice questions. There are lots of practice questions that you can use. So practice, practice, and practice some more. Practice tests not only help you assess what you've learned, they can also help you learn new material and then keep it, retain it for yourself. If you find yourself avoiding these practice questions because they increase your anxiety, that means you should do more of them until you're not anxious about them. We have lots of resources on the Academic Skills website that on our Blackboard page. And there are also lots and lots of multiple choice practice questions in the reserve section of the library. You absolutely can and will succeed on this. It just takes practice. And I hope that these simple strategies might help you along the way. Credit to Berkeley Law Academic Skills Program, who gave us a lot of content for this academic achievement workshop video that for your pleasure and perusal. Watch your Friday reminder for more upcoming workshops on ways to help you prepare to do the best job you can on your upcoming exam period. You've got this.